Hey there. I thought I'd record this as I'm now looking into a camper van. I've seen it. It's beautiful. It's a little small, but I felt like for what I want to do, it's fine. It's not a problem if it's that small. I think I need to. Yeah. So I have my tarot cards here, and so basically I've been researching what it would be like, what it would cost me to live in this camper van. But basically I'm going on adventures to see specific people, to see specific places, and then figure out from there. Some of it is spiritual, yeah, and also like my soul is calling to go and do that. But when I looked at the costs, it's it got all my belly like all in a knot, because it would actually cost me just as much as I am spending now, which means that I don't have any reserves. I'm not saving anything. I'm just living off everything that comes in is exactly what I spend. And sometimes I spend more, and then I like now I'm in debt, and I have payment installments. Um, so the reason why it's hard to decide this, obviously, if I'm going to spend just as much living in a van, and then I'm not even counting what it would cost me if I would go to a campsite, there's like no money left for that. So I see the worst case scenario that could happen very easily being that I don't feel like going to see anyone or any place, and I need to stay at a campsite, and maybe even for a month, maybe for 6 weeks. And I would have to find one that's super, super cheap, and I might not even be able to afford the absolute cheapest, which would make me be a person living from a van, needing to stay somewhere for free, not having a shower or like a bath or something like that. And I realized I was looking at the weather, the climate, and the south of France will still get like between 3 and 10 degrees in like the coldest. But it could get colder, of course. But that's like the average in the winter time, in the heart of winter. I was like, shit, that's even colder than it is here now. And living from a camper and not having heating in the camper, which that camper doesn't have, yeah, it's like the worst. So okay, I live now in a house, and I'm looking at this house, and I'm like, okay, I had to kind of think of, so I don't want to get into a panic, because I've already seen that this is not the place that I want to be, but then at the same time, I don't want to get myself into a really bad situation and then realize, well, actually, this is actually better. I never kind of go back on decisions. I only go forward, but it would be psychologically problematic to sort of be living on the streets and not have any savings, any buffer to look after myself. That's like, that's the situation that I feel that I'm in now, but I'm not living on the streets, but I'm living in a place that I don't want to be. But I do have like a house. I don't feel unsafe, and I would be moving into more unsafety, but then there's no buffer. So that's kind of what I was counting on, that I would have that. So I'm going to do a reading, and yeah, it's really good that I'm not panicking. And I kind of thought about it, like, if I have to stay here, then I can see how I would do that. It's really strange, like, going through this inner trinity of like the inner family, the inner masculine and feminine and child. I'm having a lot of practice with my inner masculine coming in to help my inner feminine to at least like give space, like hold space, like give this sense of protection, that I start to get into this like, well, how do I actually feel, so that I'm not on autopilot making decisions that seem really nice, but I've not thought it through. Also, what I realized after talking with a few people, that I I cannot take advice from people that don't have my kind of mindset. And I actually have to go away from a conversation where someone's like really harrowing me and telling me like I'm doing things all wrong and everything could go wrong, and it even gets my tummy like feeling really bad, and I have to go out of that situation and then calm down and then feel for myself, even if they could have been saying something that logically sounds sound advice, but the emotions involved in it, like I feel people's emotions. I don't know, but I have sensed that there's this part of my character that's coming up after this trip to Sardinia and back, that I don't listen to anyone anymore that is not in my state of mind, that doesn't understand me, that wouldn't. Yeah, I really categorize people according to like, but what is your advice worth to me? And yeah, I really protect myself from people's advice. So my question to the cards right now is, to give me insight into the situation if I bought this camper van and yeah, had basically the financial situation that I'm going on right now. You know, I can't see into the future. I know that my soul was saying, this is great, but I also feel like it is also my soul to learn to listen to anything that's coming up, like, I want to think about this again. And I don't see it as a fail to decide to not go. Yeah, so, okay, here we go. Okay, the first card is the Eight of Wands, and it's speed. That for me means speed. What's crossing it, I'm gonna do a Celtic cross, so what's crossing it is the Fool. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, I'm saying I'm ready for an adventure. It's okay if I don't really know everything. The Ten of Swords is below. I'll show a picture of this. Above the cross is the Ace of Cups. To the left in the past is the Ten of Pentacles. In the future is the Six of Wands. Okay, so the death of an idea. Yeah, I am letting things go. Things are ending. That's like what subconsciously is happening. What consciously is happening is that I have new dreams. The past is that I'm working towards legacy. So the present is moving fast and willing to take a leap of faith. And the future is the Six of Wands is like my energy feels like I'm really doing what I love. Now, how I'm approaching all of this is the Page of Swords. Yeah, I'm investigating. I'm investigating ideas. What this is calling in is the Nine of Pentacles. It's kind of like the joy of being in paradise. I think that is like also in a material way. Yeah, it's also the ending of a cycle. This comes before the Ten of Pentacles. So let's see. Fear and hope is the King of Swords. Well, I'm thinking of hardship, but that's actually not what the King of Swords represents. It's having to make tough decisions from a mental space. All right. The key, indecision. Hold the line. All right, this is what I think that this means right now. I'm just gonna have another quick scan. I'm really grateful for everything that I see here. It's kind of telling me like, it's kind of good. I don't see the big fear that I actually feel in real life. I do understand if this is my hope or fear, that it could be the hope in that it is establishing a better grounding for how to see my mental space. In the sense that I might be able to dare to do this and hold myself and like with it from the masculine and know and learn more about what it is to control my thought sphere, to control my mind, to not let my mind wander off and be afraid of things that I now actually in the trip to Sardinia have experienced, that things actually do work out. I mean, it was amazing. The doors that opened, yeah. All right, I'm gonna do the other one now. I kind of deduced a little more from this reading that, yeah, like my hopes and fears. I visited my family, and it was kind of a, it was a difficult emotional and mental space to be in, because most of what I've tried to transform within myself is the heaviness of what I have felt within like the patterns in my family. And I know that I'm really trying to take more distance, not from the literal people in my family, although that kind of plays into it, but because I live and want to live such a completely different life. I'm trying to be careful to not make the mistake of just throwing away everything that I've learned from my family or that I could learn, because that would like just swing the pendulum completely the other way, and I'd have the same kinds of problems, or like just on the opposite side of the spectrum. So this card, the King of Swords, it could also have to do with my hope and fear. Hope as in, I mean, fear that I'm going to be punished or psychologically feel punished for making the wrong decision. And the Two of Swords has that in it as well. Like, it's like, what will this process bring me? And it could be like indecision or a standstill. Like, it doesn't feel good to not, for me. I hate feeling like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I would hate to bring myself into a situation where I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything because I don't have any financial means. So through this process of trying to figure out what to do, or also seeing the situation, what it would mean, what kind of risks I would be taking, at this moment, I don't feel like it's a good risk for me to take. So I'm not making the decision yet, but I know that for me, to be in a place of indecision, it can really make me very depressed. And as soon as I know what it is that I want to do, my mind just starts planning, and everything. It's actually the whole feeling of knowing in what direction I'm going and planning for that. That's actually like a sweet place for me. Because then my mind starts working and I can just let my body flow and do the things that my mind is telling it. And that feels for me very harmonious. So I also wrote down for myself that, because this goes for the situation as well, if I would stay here and not buy this van, it would mean that then I do have to figure out what would make me happy to stay here. And I feel like I would want to build on a financial buffer. I also know I shouldn't give myself like endless possibilities, because that's not where I function well. It's better for me to not waste super much energy and have an option to work towards. And when I have space again, like, and more energy, I can allow more options to come my way and like upgrade whatever situation that I'm in or whatever choices I've made. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. So I'm the kind of person that I like building, and I like working towards a goal that I can see that I can do that. And that has to do with that in my astrological chart. At least this is the way that I'm figuring out why this happens, is that I have a lot of initiating energy, like 80% I think of my planets and the important points in my astrological chart have to do with cardinal energy, which means it's the energy that kind of gets you going. It's not the energy that stabilizes long term, and it's also not really the energy of dynamic transition into something like new, when you have something that's been stable and then you kind of review it to improve it. Actually, I do have a lot of Virgo because I have a 6th house stellium, but it's only in that 6th house, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna do the next reading. It's the full moon today. It's going to be exact very late at night or early in the morning, tomorrow morning. So I'm wondering how everyone's been during this full moon, because I think many of us have a lot of emotions going on, but also making decisions like I am today. So I would love to know how you're doing. It is in Aries, so for me it's like very close to my MC, the top of my chart. That's where the moon is, and it means that I don't know, I feel like I have a lot of energy. So it's really nice, and I don't feel very emotional, although there's of course a lot of emotions involved in this kind of decision making. So I am taking into account my emotions. Okay, I didn't film this, but as I was shuffling, a card jumped out, and it's the Five of Pentacles. And this is exactly the card that I was scared of. Because I felt like, what if I'm in the van, and then I'm poor, and I can't find a place to stay, and I'm cold, which is there in the snow. I've never watched videos of anyone trying to make a decision like this. I'm sure they must be out there, but they probably don't get a lot of views. So I don't know. Yeah. So the reason why I would decide not to do it is because of that situation. And right now I'm actually making the reading about what if I stay here and how will that be for me. I feel pretty okay about it. But it's good to get some insight and to dive a little bit deeper before I start my planning stage, which I love to do. Yeah, one of the things that I've been thinking about is that if I were in the van, I would love to continue doing readings and learn more astrology. I have a course going on that I'm following. It's a 4 to 6 year course to really become like a proper good astrologer. Guys, astrology is very technical. You just have to know a lot of things. I think I have met a lot of people who do it intuitively, but I really like also being technically well versed, because then you can get like all the details that you want, and I'm into details. Sixth house stallion. That's Virgo. Virgo is into details. So for me, it's like I'm really good at the big picture, and then the minute details, and the in between is like it's very hard for me to navigate through what's in between. So that's where I need to spend a little more time, a little more energy, get a little more comfortable, find out what would work for me. So yeah. So just opening myself up to the answers, and I'm grateful that I can get this reading, that I understand how to read, and I'm asking God, I'm asking my higher self for guidance, anything that I need to know that would be useful, and that it's a clear message for me. And I'm feeling into this new sense of, what if I, from my own freedom of choice, decide to stay here. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to cry. Stay here and like spend the next years, or until I have reached my goal, to have a financial buffer, and yeah, feel psychologically safe. This is the reason why you wanna make sure you're in the right space to do a reading, because it'll help you already start to process and start to realize what is the question that you're asking. In this case, yeah, obviously it's hitting me already. So I would like to have some insight. What do I need to know about if I do decide to stay here and create some financial buffer for myself, so I can feel psychologically safer to make these travels and to buy a van and to make this move. Yeah. So I'm cutting the deck with my left hand. That's how I do that. And okay. All right, here we go. Ooh. Ooh, the first card is a Seven of Swords. Stealing away. The Seven of Swords is such a weird card. It's like, it could be like unconscious. So like, you said you wanted this thing and you're gonna do this thing, but now you're pretending that you don't want to do this thing and you're undermining yourself and sabotaging. It could be the card of sabotage. It can also be like, I need to avoid the Five of Swords, which is strife. I need to avoid like going to war with myself and or getting into a bad situation, and I'm rethinking the situation. So the Two of Swords is left, which is like the indecision, like crossing the swords, which we had in the last reading. And crossing this is the Ten of Swords, which is the death of an idea. Yeah, that is on many levels actually. What's happening? I'm sorry, I just had some gas in my mouth. Underneath this is the Ace of Wands, which can be like, okay, a new kind of energy is rising. I feel like when I'm doing this, when I'm thinking about this option, it's really going into taking care of myself, understanding my personality long term and what is good for me long term, and trying out that. You know, it's also a trial and error. You never know really what's best. You always gotta. For me, it's a trial and error. Oh my gosh! At the top is the World card, so it's a kind of a completion. I like that. It's like where the universe is helping. It's like I'm helping you to become whole, to be whole. So that includes responsibility. Oh my gosh. What's in the past is heartbreak. What's in the present is the Five of Swords. What's in the future is the Five of Swords. Oh my gosh. Strife. How I'm seeing the situation is from trying to balance, this is called judgment, to really see through and to be realistic. What I'm calling forth is a faraway goal, a dream, a good one. It's far away though, that card says that. My hope and fear is I guess, yeah, going into the underworld again. Because that's what I've been doing basically since I came to Holland. Is like moving through the underworld. That's how it's been feeling for me. Hope and fear. So hope could be like I'm starting to move what really matters, which is to be responsible. What this will bring me is the Four of Wands, which could be like a stabilizing energy. Wands doesn't necessarily mean stabilizing. It's more about like the fire, but the Four is about foundation. So it could be like laying a foundation in the day-to-day. Okay, I'm gonna have another look at this. All the energy that I feel from this, also from my question, has a lot to do with sacrifice. Like sacrifice of quite a big dream, a lot of energy that I feel very happy about. It's very frivolous. The swords, the Five of Swords, strife. I don't think it's ever good. So the cards are telling me like, yeah, the future's gonna be super hard and it's not gonna yield anything. But eventually, it like for my whole process, what I'm learning through this is to stabilize my energy. So that would still feel like I'm learning something. It might just not be the thing that I thought it was gonna be. But this has always been a very scary card, I felt. It's when I was doing the pilgrimage, all of the first years that I did it, I would ask the tarot deck, like, how am I doing with the pilgrimage thing? And it would give me this card. And I always felt like I was falling short. That it was telling me, well, you're just gonna get whatever you put into it. And I wasn't putting a lot of energy into it. I was like doing all kinds of other things and stressing. Mostly, honestly, in the Netherlands, I've been stressing. So that is something that I want to really take into account. Like, living here in the Netherlands has made me feel super stressed. And I have to take into account that I will continue that way, and that whatever reason that I would stay here has to be good enough for me to take on that challenge, which I have not wanted to. But it does make a difference when you decide to do it, to take it on. So, yeah, I could start planning. Okay, this is it. Thank you for watching all of this. If you have any comments, please share them with me. I'd love to hear where you're at watching this. What does it move anything in you? Are there any things that you feel you would love to learn from me? Because in the womb dragon sanctuary, I want to be able to like address whatever that you want to learn or that you're curious about. Because I'd love to share any of my knowledge that I have on that platform. All right, see you next time. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed day. Bye.